Welcome to Checkmate Geopolitics, where we dissect the strategic moves and countermoves shaping the global stage. I'm Steph, and today we're diving into a fascinating puzzle. Why did Israel risk escalating tensions in Syria to protect the Druze, a minority community it doesn't govern? This story reveals a decades-long partnership driven by pragmatism and survival. If you're ready for an in-depth analysis of this geopolitical chessboard, hit the subscribe button, give this video a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Let's make the first move. On July 16, 2025, Israeli jets executed precise operations deep inside Syria, targeting military assets in Suweda and Damascus. Unlike previous strikes aimed at Iranian proxies or missile sites, these actions were launched to defend the Druze, a small but resilient Arab minority facing violence from Sunni Bedouin tribes. This unexpected move sparked global debate. Why would Israel, a Jewish state, risk cross-border conflict to protect an Arab community outside its borders? The answer lies in one of the Middle East's most enduring and pragmatic alliances, forged in strategy, mutual interest, and survival. Who are the Druze? The Druze are an ethnically Arabic-speaking group whose unique religion emerged in 11th century Egypt, blending elements of Shia Islam with Gnosticism, Neoplatonism, and beliefs. Like reincarnation, their faith is distinct and often misunderstood. Viewed as heretical by some mainstream Muslim groups, the Druze have faced centuries of persecution, fostering a culture of secrecy, resilience, and strategic alignment with stronger powers. Historically, they've settled in remote, mountainous regions, natural fortresses like Jebel-al-Druze in Syria, Mount Lebanon, and Israel's Galilee to protect their communities. Today, approximately 1.5 million Druze live worldwide. The majority reside in three countries: Syria, 600,000 to 700,000, primarily in Suweda's Jebel al-Druze; Lebanon, 300,000 to 400,000, concentrated in the Shuf and Mount Lebanon regions; and Israel, 130,000, mainly in Galilee and the Golan Heights. Smaller diaspora communities exist in the United States, Canada, and Australia. Their tight-knit nature and historical adaptability have made them a unique player in the Middle East's complex ethnic and religious mosaic. The Israel-Druze partnership, a historical foundation. The roots of Israel's relationship with the Druze trace back to 1948, when the United Nations partitioned Palestine, creating the State of Israel. Alongside its Jewish majority, Israel inherited diverse Arab populations, including Palestinians, Sunni Bedouins, and the Druze. While many Arab communities felt alienated, the Druze took a pragmatic path. In 1956, they struck a landmark agreement with Israel, allowing Druze men to serve in the Israeli Defense Forces (IDF). Unlike other Arab groups, who can volunteer, the Druze face mandatory conscription, integrating them into combat units, special forces, and intelligence roles. Some have risen to senior ranks, including generals, earning respect within Israel's military establishment. This integration has made the Druze a symbol of Arab inclusion in Israel, a Jewish majority state. They serve in the police, civil service, and even politics, with Druze representatives in the Knesset. For Israel, the Druze are a trusted minority, showcasing coexistence amid regional tensions. For the Druze, alignment with Israel provides access to education, healthcare, and social mobility. However, tensions exist. Some younger Druze criticize systemic discrimination, such as unequal land rights or economic opportunities, prompting debates about the partnership's fairness. Beyond borders, Israel's regional Druze connections. Israel's Engagement with the Druze extends beyond its borders, shaped by regional geopolitics. In Lebanon, the Druze, led by the influential Jumblat family and the Progressive Socialist Party, have been significant political players. During Lebanon's civil war, 1975 to 1990, Israel primarily allied with Maronite Christians but occasionally cooperated with the Druze against shared threats such as Syrian influence or Hezbollah, the Iranian-backed Shia militia. These alliances were tactical, driven by shifting circumstances rather than deep ideological bonds. In Syria, the Druze have historically kept Israel at arm's length due to the deep hostility between Damascus and Tel Aviv. The 20,000 Druze in the Golan Heights, captured by Israel in 1967, largely reject Israeli citizenship, identifying as Syrian. During Syria's civil war, 2011 to 2025, the Druze aligned with the Assad regime for protection against Islamist rebels and tribal militias. Israel reportedly provided limited humanitarian aid, but Syrian Druze leaders avoided overt ties to avoid being labeled collaborators. The 2025 Suweda crisis, a turning point, the collapse of the Assad regime in early 2025 shifted Syria's power dynamics, leaving the Druze vulnerable. In July 2025, violence erupted in Suweda's Jebel al-Druze region when a kidnapping sparked clashes between Druze militias and Sunni Bedouin tribes. The new Sunni-led Syrian government deployed troops to restore order, but the Druze perceived bias toward the Bedouins, escalating the conflict. As fighting intensified, reports of mass displacement and rising casualties emerged ex post from regional analysts estimated 1,100 deaths and 130,000 displaced by mid-July. Israel's response was swift. On July 16th, Israeli jets conducted targeted operations, hitting Syrian military positions, vehicles, and command centers in Suweda and near Damascus. Israel justified the strikes as a humanitarian effort to prevent a Druze massacre, while Syria condemned them as violations of sovereignty. A US-brokered ceasefire, supported by Arab states like Jordan and Saudi Arabia, led to a partial Syrian troop withdrawal, but tensions remain high. Bedouin leaders have threatened renewed clashes, raising fears of further Israeli intervention. Strategic logic behind Israel's actions at Checkmate Geopolitics, we peel back the layers of global strategy. Israel's intervention in Suweda reflects a blend of humanitarian and geopolitical motives. Securing the Golan Heights buffer, Israel has long sought to prevent hostile forces such as Iranian-backed militias or Sunni Islamist groups from gaining a foothold near the Golan Heights. The Druze, wary of both Damascus and extremist factions, serve as a natural buffer. Supporting them strengthens Israel's northern frontier, reinforcing domestic Druze loyalty. By protecting Syrian Druze, Israel sends a message to its 130,000 Druze citizens. Their loyalty is valued, and the state will defend them, even abroad. This is critical amid rising discontent among younger Israeli Druze over issues like land disputes and economic inequality, as noted in recent discussions by Israeli analysts. Boosting national unity. The Druze's military service is widely respected in Israel. Defending the Druze abroad reinforces Israel's narrative of protecting loyal minorities, appealing to broader society and countering criticism of its Arab policies. Exploiting Syria's instability. Post-Assad Syria is a fragmented state with competing factions vying for control. Israel's intervention may aim to shape southern Syria's power dynamics, ensuring a friendly or neutral Druze presence near its border. However, the strategy carries risks. By aligning with the Druze, Israel risks branding them as proxies, increasing their vulnerability to retaliation from Syrian factions or regional powers like Iran. X posts from Syrian commentators in July 2025 warn that Druze communities now face accusations of collaborating with Israel, potentially isolating them further. A pragmatic alliance in a volatile region, the Israel-Druze relationship is not rooted in ideology or shared identity, but in mutual survival. For the Druze, aligning with Israel offers protection in a region where they've long faced persecution. For Israel, the Druze are reliable partners in a hostile landscape. Yet, the Suweda intervention raises questions. Can Israel sustain this commitment without entrenching itself in Syria? Will Syrian Druze embrace or reject this support, given the risk of being seen as Israeli allies? At Checkmate Geopolitics, our mission is to analyze, not advocate. We aim to decode the strategic calculations behind global events, offering clarity amid complexity. The Israel-Druze alliance, tested by the Suweda crisis, underscores the Middle East's intricate web of alliances and rivalries. As Syria's future unfolds, Israel's role and its impact on the Druze will remain a critical piece of the geopolitical puzzle. Closing. Call to action. That's the Israel-Druze alliance laid bare on the geopolitical chessboard. If this deep dive into strategy and survival resonated with you, subscribe to Checkmate Geopolitics and hit the like button to support our mission. Share this video with anyone curious about the Middle East's complex dynamics and let us know. In the comments, what's Israel's next move and how will the Druze navigate this crisis? Follow us on X and visit checkmategeopolitics.com for more strategic insights. This is Steph, signing off. Stay sharp and see you in the next analysis.